April 20th, 2026. This is our way of handling the day's Democracy Now! Stories. We do not just repeat headlines. We use each story to show where power is actually moving, where the official language breaks from reality, and what that means for ordinary life. Story 1. Lebanon's 10-day ceasefire looks less like peace than a test of what people will accept as normal. Israel agreed to the pause, but only after killing more than 2,000 people since early March, destroying the last bridge over the Litani River, and carving out a buffer zone inside Lebanese territory. The deeper lesson is that a ceasefire without return, repair, and sovereignty is usually a management tool, not a settlement. People know the difference. They do not measure peace by whether the shelling pauses for a week. They measure it by whether they can go home and stay there. Story 2. The House rejection of the Iran War Powers Resolution matters because it shows how institutions ratify escalation by refusing to interrupt it. Congress had a chance to reclaim authority over a widening war and chose not to. The deeper truth is that checks and balances often fail not in moments of ambiguity, but in moments of clarity. When the machinery is already running, the institution reveals itself by what it will not stop. Story 3. Russia's deadliest attack of the year on Kyiv came right after an Easter truce that both sides accused the other of violating, while Ukraine answered with a strike on the Tuapse port and refinery. The deeper lesson is that modern truces are often less about peace than about reset. In infrastructure wars, a pause can become part of the operational cycle. The public hears the word truce and imagines de-escalation. The system hears truce and often uses it to reposition, repair, and strike again. Story 4. The FISA extension and the Haiti TPS vote belong together because they show the same state from two angles. One vote preserves surveillance power, the other temporarily preserves legal footing for a vulnerable population. The deeper truth is that modern states expand visibility faster than they expand mercy. They move quickly when they want more access to people's data, and much more reluctantly when they are asked to secure people's lives. Story 5. The resignation of ICE's acting director and the felony assault charges against an ICE agent in Minnesota are not side stories. They show what happens when enforcement culture leaks out of the file and into the street. The deeper lesson is that when a system is rewarded for force, the force does not stay neatly inside policy. It spills into roads, cars, neighborhoods, and ordinary encounters. A bureaucracy under pressure becomes a daily atmosphere, not just an agency. Story 6. Ana Lilia Mejia's win in New Jersey looks like a local story, but, in a narrowly divided House, it is also a national leverage story. One district changes the arithmetic, and the arithmetic changes what becomes possible. The deeper lesson is that power is often decided at the margin. The public is trained to focus on presidential spectacle, but systems are frequently moved by smaller contests where one seat changes what everyone else can do. Story 7. Hampshire College's closure is not just one school failing. It is a signal about institutional strain across the country. A distinctive school with a real identity still could not outrun enrollment decline, debt, and structural financial pressure. The deeper lesson is that institutions rarely disappear because they lost all meaning. They disappear because meaning alone cannot survive hostile economics forever. That is how civic capacity erodes in plain sight. The through line today is simple. Systems under stress do not just become louder, they become thinner. Thinner in what they protect, thinner in what they can sustain, and thinner in the gap between formal legitimacy and lived reality. The headline says ceasefire, truce, extension, protection, election. The deeper story is about whether anything durable is actually being rebuilt underneath those words.